What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy, and we got some interesting news today. God dang, this is supposed to be Thanksgiving. None of the big news is supposed to be coming out this week, for crying out loud. But to start off, well, I think we might as well mention, I just want to remind you guys, Ahsoka. Ahsoka's final viewership clocked in worse than Andor. Over the course of the actual series itself, Ahsoka saw a 40% drop compared to The Mandalorian Season 3. The Mandalorian, which saw a massive drop compared to Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. Okay, so people have been checking out of Star Wars, and across the verse, okay, what I'm bringing up is The Mandalorian, I'm bringing up Ahsoka, I'm bringing up all these D+ shows, which happened within the Mandalorian universe, which was helmed by I can't remember the one guy's name off the top. No, I can't remember the dude in charge of Iron Man. I'm blanking on names. I can visualize his face. Larger dude, cool dude, big fan of stuff. Oh, god dang it, what was his name? Well, anyways, okay, guy number 2 was Dave Filoni. Oh, you know, Dave Filoni, the guy who created, honestly, I love the Clone Wars. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. I love the Clone Wars. I thought the Clone Wars was fantastic. I thought it was really good, really well done, and it's supplemental material for the overall prequel series. And I know my buddy Adam, the Renaissance Nerd, will say that it's 80% garbage and everything like that because he's an EU guy and it doesn't respect EU and changes canon along with the EU. I know Ryan Cannell has said that it actually kind of ruins certain aspects in regards to like Count Dooku and interactions with Count Dooku and stuff. But overall, I like the Clone Wars series. When it came to Rebels, I thought, some good stuff here, some really bad stuff, tons of filler that was just not needed. Everything else Dave Filoni has put out has been utter garbage. Let's just be honest here. Dave Filoni has put out utter garbage. So this next move shouldn't really shock people because it very much feels like classic Star Wars and classic Disney Lucasfilm and Disney Star Wars motions. I gotta be honest. Dave Filoni promoted to Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm will now work with Kathleen Kennedy at the inception phase on all future Star Wars projects. We're going to have Ahsoka everywhere. We're going to have Ahsoka put into every aspect of life. And it doesn't get into it in this article, but one of the reasonings behind why they want to put Filoni into this position is because of his close connections with George Lucas and the fact that George Lucas trained him and then he can bring in George Lucas into this world. They don't respect George Lucas. They don't like George Lucas. And even Dave Filoni here has bastardized what George Lucas has created. One of the good key aspects to like the Clone Wars, for example, George Lucas worked very heavily in regards to the Clone Wars show. He was there actually guiding along and guiding Dave Filoni and doing stuff and saying, hey, Dave Filoni, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. I should have pulled up the article, but even George Lucas said that Ahsoka should not have survived Order 66. Definitively, I don't think it. I think there's a good argument as, hey, she shouldn't have survived Order 66, but if we're going to keep her on, she should have died in Rebels when she was facing down Darth Vader. I will say that. That would have been a perfect ending for her. Definitely, she should not be around anymore. She should be dead. But no, she has to survive 3 different times. But let's get into this. And a move that will, this time, surely for real, 100% absolutely save the Star Wars brand. No, it's just 100% a Disney Star Wars move. Lucasfilm has announced that they have officially tapped Star Wars Rebels and Ahsoka creator Dave Filoni to serve as the company's new Chief Creative Officer. That's right. The promotion for the cowboy hat clad, I think it's supposed to be cladded, director hat was first revealed by Filoni himself during a recent interview with Vanity Fair's Anthony. I'm not even going to try to say that dude's last name. Anthony is what we're going to call him. Now, I'm what's called Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm. He told Anthony. In the past, in a lot of projects, I can't even continue doing the voice. I would be brought into it. I would see it after it had already developed a good ways. In his new role, Filoni will now work directly alongside Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy and head of development Carrie Beck in shaping Star Wars' future. Filoni detailed, in this new role, it's open up to basically everything that's going on. When we're planning the future of what we're doing now, I'm involved at the inception phase. That's right. They finally have somebody to actually guide their stuff, but it's Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni, a guy who has been notorious for actually bastardizing George Lucas' creation, only gets a lot of like fan praise and like protection because of the Clone Wars. And I'll admit it, again, I like the Clone Wars. I thought the Clone Wars was good, but that's because George Lucas was so heavily involved. Everything else that came out from the Clone Wars, things like Rebels, things like Bad Batch, they weren't as good. They were actually downright nothing compared to the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars was very well done, very well received, and again, it is supplemental material for the prequel trilogy. Outside of that, nothing Dave Filoni has done has actually been that good. And Ahsoka is prime Dave Filoni. And when it comes to Ahsoka, this show that was supposed to save Star Wars, everybody was like, he Vadered. You know, you get everything like that coming out of Ahsoka. It was void of most things Star Wars. It felt like it was referencing Disney Star Wars more than anything else. And like, you already had to know what Star Wars was. It felt like it was trying to be Star Wars instead of actually being Star Wars. Which is sad to say when it comes to what Star Wars was. You always knew what Star Wars was, and when it came to what Ahsoka is, it never even came close to being what Star Wars was, and it felt like somebody was wearing a Star Wars mask. According to Anthony, per this new arrangement, Kennedy will remain in charge of Lucasfilm overall. Beck will bear responsibility for recruiting new creatives onto the Star Wars team, and Filoni will be tasked with offering narrative oversight on all future projects. Listen, the only thing people really enjoyed out of Ahsoka, and I'm gonna go to Ahsoka, that was the last project Dave Filoni worked on, was Baylan. Baylan was the only character people liked, but that was because of the actor that they had playing him. And god dang it, I can't even think of his name. Ray Stevenson. Baylan Skull? I didn't even know that was his name. Okay, Ray Stevenson. Thank God I had to scroll down. I'm awful with names. I'm great with faces though. But Ray Stevenson just has a presence. He has an on-screen presence. And when you go through like Ahsoka, if you get to a scene where Ray Stevenson is just, because there's several scenes like this, he's just standing there looking at the screen, you kind of feel good because it actually has a bit of testosterone within this whole show. Outside of that, there's nothing. But that's just purely because Ray Stevenson was an awesome actor. God rest his soul. Outside of that, there was nothing there. There was no enjoyment. There was no being. There was nothing beside Ray Stevenson. Everything else was just garbage. Even Baylan himself wasn't a great character. There was actually nothing there for him as a character. That was just Ray Stevenson's performance. Elaborating on his new position, Filoni noted, I'm not telling people what to do except to put Ahsoka literally in everything, but I do feel I'm trying to help them tell the best story that they want to tell. I need to be a help across the galaxy here, like a part of a Jedi Council almost. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Trying to reference Star Wars, you soy boy weirdo who wants to, oh God, what the hell? To truly help filmmakers, it was really important for me to experience it firsthand, he continued. I can also lend a perspective on the challenges that telling these stories will present. I feel more capable of actually being helpful outside of just saying, well, Jedi are like this and Sith are like this. But you don't know the reality of Star Wars. Everything that you've made has never really fully felt like Star Wars. Again, outside of the Clone Wars series that had heavy influence from George Lucas himself, everything else he's touched has always felt like it doesn't fully fit in Star Wars. There's aspects of it that have not been Star Wars-esque. If you kind of catch what I'm saying, like it doesn't feel, it doesn't flow, it doesn't have, it feels like it's trying to be Star Wars, but never getting there, to the point that they don't even know what lightsabers feel. Lightsabers are like baseball bats now, instead of being elegant weapons that can cut through literally anything. And the moment you get stabbed with one, you're dead. Okay, because it blows you up because it's plasma superheated. This is a man that does not care for what he actually has, wants to bastardize it, but everybody thinks, oh my God, he's so amazing again, because he was trained by George Lucas, but even George Lucas wasn't a huge fan of him. I really wish they never trained him, and I really wish they never pushed him forward. But hey, guess what? It's classic Disney fashion. Instead of actually trying to fix what your stuff, you're just going to promote somebody who's already been awful to an even higher position where they have more power to continue pushing their awful stuff. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, and check out CoffeeBrandCoffee.com. What's going on, guys? Listen, it's Christmas season coming up, and you know what makes great gifts? That's right, Coffee Brand Coffee. Coffee Brand Coffee makes wonderful gifts, and guess what? They don't just have great coffees, teas, and cocos. They also got gear, they got K-cups, and also they got wonderful gift boxes. Gift boxes that include all sorts of wonderful great goodies. You got chocolate covered coffee beans, raspberry yogurt pretzel twists, sea salt milk chocolates, caramel. You got chocolate covered coffee beans, peppermint hot cocoa, spicy and sweet treat mixes, kettle corn pop, premium vacuum travel tumblers, and all sorts of wonderful great stuff that you can get at Coffee Brand Coffee. And these make great Christmas gifts. So guys, please check out CoffeeBrandCoffee.com and use promo code BACKTACO at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. That's CoffeeBrandCoffee.com, promo code BACKTACO.